the modern society is going to collapse.
Yeah.
And it's becoming obvious, even if we're deaf, dumb, and blind, it's becoming obvious that the society all around the world is starting to tremor. It's starting to shake at the roots. The foundation of society is all crumbling down. So we should pay heed to Prabhupada's advice to
Yes.
get back to a more simple, natural life, be more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And then we can be best prepared. Hare Krishna, Bhakti Mala. Nice to see you. Good, good.
That's good.
Nice. Yeah.
Sorry, it took me a while. My WhatsApp is decided it needs to update on my computer and my iPad, and then let me in.
That's
with
okay.
my phone.
You made it. Yeah, Gulshan and I were just chatting about the prasadam distribution that we did here recently, and now about the chaos caused by flooding and that our place, you've been here, our place is cut off from the rest of the country. The Northland is cut off from the rest of the country.
But your internet is okay.
Yeah. I was worried whether it would get cut off as well. Some water gets in it, it's not going to be very good for it. Because I've never seen the water come up so high, and our little stream became a river like that. Yes.
The Kai Tai or whatever it is or
No,
the little.
it's flooded to Kai Tai also.
Oh.
And the highway going to Kai Tai is flooded, and from State Highway 10 on the east side. So west side, east side, it's all cut off. Yeah. So that's good. We just sit here and chant Hare Krishna and take prasadam until it clears out. Oh my God. We did this catering, right? And I ordered a bit too much boga. And it's like piled up all over the place. Piled up. I'll just show you.
Oh.
I just got stuff everywhere. So we could survive here for about 3 years.
That's good.
If it all goes to custard. Krishna's arranged, we've got about 3 years supply of food, So we're not going to die of starvation, that's for sure. And it's Krishna's very kind. But yeah, just got back in time. I was supposed to have been doing the prasad distribution till Friday, till tomorrow, and that would have stuffed me up completely. But luckily, things changed a bit, and I managed to get out of there early. So, which was Krishna's mercy, and Jayanti would have been freaking out here by herself and worried about everything. So yeah, Krishna saves the day. So I was just saying, Gulshan and I were just saying about the world situations looking pretty bad. And we see, just crazy weather, and then wars, and it's just all falling apart, and people are just suffering from so many different calamities. I just did a little post about this flooding on our Krishna culture for the Facebook page, and I just presented, according to the Vedas, there's 3 different kinds of miseries: the Adhyatmic klesha, which is miseries from the body and mind, and Adibautic klesha, miseries from other living entities, and that includes wars and so forth. And then miseries from nature itself, which is under the control of the demigods, called Adidaiva klesha. So, and that's flooding and all that kind of stuff. Too hot, too cold, and like that. And and that's a fact. And then I said that the cause of these threefold miseries is bad karma. That's why these miseries are thrown at us continuously, is because of bad karma. So obviously then the logical solution, if we really wanted to stop suffering, the miseries, then what we should do is stop bad karma. And therefore, when you join ISKCON, the first thing you do is no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Those are the 4 categories, the 4 main categories of bad karma. So, if we stop the bad karma, then the miseries will. Oh, we've got Deepak joining as well. Wonderful.
I'm just going to log out and log back in on my iPad.
Yeah, sure thing. Hare Krishna, Deepa Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hang on, let me get me.
Yes.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes. We can hear you but can't see you. That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Unmanifest.
It's
Oh, there
okay.
you are.
There it is. Unmanifested. That's funny.
Yes, manifest and unmanifest.
Yeah.
Prakat and aprakat.
Deepa, I want to ask you something. Deepa, did you get the message from Vikas Prabhu about the Wednesday?
Yeah.
What is
First of
who's that
April.
Vikas? I don't know who's the Vikas Prabhu. Did I ever met? I got message too about this.
He's the regular one who
He
goes
was regular at the Bhakti Tree when we did the Friday.
Mahabhadra's. But Mahabhadra's Kirtans, he's the one who always comes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Mm.
But who's coming there? Who's Prabhuji coming for Kirtan?
Pardon? Who's coming for Kirtan? No. He's having this event because his Guru Maharaj is coming to visit. But he's in a different parampara, no?
Okay, not the ISKCON.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come there Wednesday, 1st of April.
Just to show
Sure.
support.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure. No, it'll be a prasadam too, I'll definitely come.
Yeah.
Any prasadam I go. Today I've got the prasadam from 7-Eleven, Today it's Ashtami. You know Ashtami, Prabhuji? Tomorrow Ram Navami.
Yeah, Ram Navami.
Yeah, so today he do that Ashtami, so he makes some puris and halwa and chickpea and all that. So 7-Eleven, Kulwinder. So his wife says, please come. I say, yeah, sure. For any prasadam, I definitely come.
Yeah, say Hare Krishna from us.
Of course.
From Jayanti and I when you see them.
Definitely.
Meena and Kulwinder, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, very nice. Always been very supportive to the Bhakti Tree.
Yeah.
Helping in so many ways. Yeah.
So he took some prasadam to Bhakti Tree and he called me to come to the petrol station to the prasadam. I said, okay, no worries, that's all right, I'll go. We went to his home as well once, remember?
Yeah, of course. I've been more than once, yeah.
Same event, that same happening with Navratra, end of Navratra, he makes that.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes.
So today was
the appearance day of Lord Ram coming up. So that's tomorrow. So that's very exciting. Very wonderful day, auspicious day.
Ram Navami.
Lord Ram. He set the example as an ideal king. He was teaching by example. Ideal leader. We really need that we really need an ideal leader, isn't it? That's the thing. We're suffering mainly because our leaders are completely rotten to the core. They're so evil, that they'll create wars just to further their, personal benefit like that.
Is there any way I can
no
give
need for all
Bhagavad
these
Gita
things.
Bhagavad Gita to Donald Trump and Netanyahu?
Oh my God.
I can give one Bhagavad Gita to each of them. Please read.
Yeah. So so essential. If the leader is good, everything underneath is good. Everything. Whether it's a country or an organization or whatever, a family or whatever like that, at any level, if the person on top is good, everything underneath is good. And if the person on top is bad, good luck. It's really things are not going to go well.
We don't classify Krishna as a leader.
Of course, he's the ultimate leader.
Well, then you say if the leader is good.
I know, but he's in the spiritual world, and he's left us to our own what do you call it? Our own devices. Our own devices. Because we've rebelled against him. See, a good leader can only benefit his followers or citizens if they follow his instructions, right? If you rebel, even you got the best leader, but if you disobey the good leader, then he can't help you. He can't help you. So Chris said, okay, you don't want to toe the line, you don't want to follow him. Okay, go to the material world and you lead it, you work it out. So it said that's the first birth we take when we fall into the material world, is to become Lord Brahma. You become the leader of the universe. Okay, have a go. Here you go. Here's your own universe, mate. You could try that one out. And then we suffer, of course. And we go down, 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 down. And eventually become like a worm in the stool,
Oh my God.
So you go from, it's just so ridiculous. Because we turn our back on our best friend, our real leader, our father. Krishna's everything. Our father, our leader, our mother, our everything, our lover. And, we turned our back on you know, the best person. So now we have to suffer the consequences. But the solution is easy. You just turn back to Krishna again. Okay, now I'm going to do what you say. You know, and what is Krishna's final instruction in the Bhagavad Gita? It's 1866. You know, abandon all your self-created, concocted ideas and just surrender to me and do what I say, basically. You know, surrender means, if you surrender to someone, what does that mean? You do what they say. Isn't it? If you surrender means, okay, oh, that's it, hands up. Now I'm your servant. You do with me whatever you like. I'll, you know, I do what you say. You know, I follow your instructions. And this is the turning point in Arjuna's mind. Just after that, let's look at that I think it's 1873. So that famous verse, 1866, is where Krishna says that you should just surrender. And then 1873, we see the change in Arjuna's consciousness.
I did surrender in 2013, 14 to Gloria Jeans. Do whatever, you know, I say whatever you say. I do whatever you say.
I know.
I surrender to them,
yeah.
but I get end up with what? Cancer?
And that's why the worst occupation in Vedic culture is a Sudra. Because a Sudra means you have to do what your stupid boss says. You know, oh, boss, can I please take a day off for Krishna Janmashtami? No, you have to work. You know, so that's why it's not recommended to be a Sudra, because you end up having to do things that should not be done like that. Oh, I don't want to cook meat. No, you have to cook meat in this place. Otherwise, get out. You lost your job. You have to. There's this one lady recently, she's been a vegetarian for like, I think about as long as me, more than 30 years. And she works for these people, and they had a lot of the Korean visitors coming. I mean, Korean people like to eat meat. So her employers said to her, we want you to cook meat for the Koreans. It's like, oh, gross. I don't want to cook meat, but she had to. If she wants to keep her job, she had to cook meat, you know. No, she always does. But this is another lady, a Kiwi lady, nice Kiwi lady. She used to work for some a retreat called Mana, which is a famous retreat in New Zealand, and they were really into, you know, vegan, vegetarian food and the retreat and stuff. But then she's in this new place, you know, and sometimes she has to do these things. So yeah, it's not recommended to be a Sudra, because then you hardly have any freedom, hardly have any independence. You just have to do what your boss says. And it's okay. I mean, if you had a good boss, but you know, the problem is in the material world, generally the boss is not good, is in Maya. And then you become a servant of Maya, and that's the problem. To be a servant of Krishna or Krishna's servants, that's wonderful. That's wonderful to be a servant of Krishna or Krishna's servants, but not to be servant of a materialist. There's a beautiful bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which says, Vifele sevanu kripana durajana, that for so long I have served wicked and miserly masters. So he's lamenting in this song. You know, he's not that he's been like that, but he's taking the position of us, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, taking our position. Kripana Durajana. It's Durajana, like we have the word Mahajana. We just looked at that not too long ago. The Mahajan, the great person. But opposite to a Mahajan is a Durajan, Durajana.
It's the lowest Durjan. Duryodhan come from Durjan too?
Different word, but
similar.
Yeah, he's a Durjan. Yeah. He's saying it's Duryodhan. It's Duryodhan.
It's a similar accent.
It sounds similar. Yeah, it's got the word Dur in it. Yeah. Actually, when Duryodhan took birth, there were so many inauspicious signs. Donkeys and asses were braying.
What's the meaning of Duryodhan? What's the meaning?
Which is a really bad sign. And they were shooting stars, which is a really bad sign. Like if you see those comets and that going across the sky, that's a really bad sign. and things like that, you know, and like blood came out of the cow's udder instead of milk. Blood was coming out when he was born and stuff like that. So really bad signs. And when the Brahmanas saw these inauspicious signs, when Duryodhana appeared as a baby, then the Brahmanas told his parents, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, kill him immediately. Kill your baby, mate. Otherwise, he's going to destroy the whole Kuru dynasty. And he did. He actually, obviously they were too attached to him already.
What's the meaning of Duryodhana? Where is the meaning of his name?
Ask Uncle Google.
Ask Uncle Google. Yeah, I can't remember. I have read it.
I know.
Ask them, what's the meaning of Duryodhana?
I know.
Yeah, we have to look it up. Yeah,
Duryodhana means,
it's not a good meaning.
I know. I think Duryodhana means Trump.
He's definitely in the Trump class. Yeah, definitely in the Trump class.
But
you know, leading as people to destruction, and we see that's what these modern leaders, you know, whether it's Israel leader, US leader, are leading their citizens to absolute destruction, like that. Very sad situation. Yeah.
I haven't read the Bhagavatam, obviously, but is there stories about that in other times where there was peace through having a pious king, or, you know, where society was?
Yeah, that's Lord Ram. And that's mentioned in the 9th canto. It's said during the reign of Lord Ram, right? And it's called famous. It's called Ram Raja. So you often hear about, we want Ram Raja. You know, in India, they'll say, we want Ram Raja. So they want the kingdom of Ram, but they don't want Ram. That's the thing. And you can't have the kingdom of Ram without Ram. You know, the reason why the kingdom of Ram was so good was that Ram was in charge. But we want the kingdom means party time, you know, enjoy, no miseries, you know, just happiness, but we don't want to follow Ram. That's the problem. You know, so what was it like during the kingdom of Ram? No old age, no disease, and get this. No death if you didn't want to. Unless you, I want to die now, I'm ready to die, okay, and then you just go, you know. So if you did no death if you don't want to, it means there's no miseries. You know, in the material world, we're not talking about the spiritual worlds like that all the time. But this was in Treta Yuga 2 million years ago on Earth when Ram was ruling. After he killed Ravana, he came back to Ayodhya and he became the king with Sita and Lakshman, Hanuman at his side and everything. And then it was like heaven on earth for, I think, about 100,000 years he was ruling or something. You know, it was just like heaven on earth. And like I said, no old age, no disease, and no death. And Johnny's saying there's no Ramaja now because she's in pain. She's got back pain.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, we're all suffering. Our leader here's a real dickhead too, you know, so sorry for the French.
With that time,
but
is that when the Varnashram system was working?
Like, yeah, of course, because where does Varnashram come from? That's the famous verse about Varnashram, chapter 4, text 13, which we don't often refer to. But that's very important, very relevant, 4:13, where Krishna says he's the father of Varnashram. Chaturvanyam mayashrastam. You know, these four, Chatur means four and Varnas means occupations. So, and then he says that he's the father of the system, like that. But although he's the father of the system, but he's not under the system, it means he's not in any one of the four Varnas. Some people say Krishna was a Kshatriya, right? Because as you know, Vasudeva and Devaki were Kshatriyas. And some people say Krishna was a Vaishya because his father was Nanda and Yashoda and he herded cows and stuff like that. But actually Krishna's beyond the four Varnas. He's the source, he's the creator of the four Varnas, but he's not under the four Varnas. But it's a perfect system for us, conditioned souls in the material world. It's so well organized to bring us to the point of God realization. And that's the perfection of Vedic culture. That's the purpose of Vedic culture, is to bring everyone, whether you're in Tamagun or Rajagun or whatever guna you're in, to bring us into the, first of all, the mode of goodness, to bring us to mode of goodness, and from there, to bring us to transcendence, to Krishna consciousness, and go back home, back to Godhead. You know, that's the purpose of Vedic culture. And so the Lord comes himself to reestablish that system when it gets, off track like that. And believe it or not, and we were talking a little bit with Gulshan about it, believe it or not, the way the world's going, that's what the Lord is arranging to bring us back to that system, because it's all collapsing. The modern system is all collapsing. And what is it going to collapse into? Back to the Vedic culture again, simple, as Prabhupada summed it up, simple living, high thinking.
But according to Bhagavad Gita, still there is a 427,000 year left.
Correct. And that's not going to change. But what is going to change is that there's going to be a 10-year mini golden age inside the Kali Yuga. And that was initiated by Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago. So we've got 9,500 years left of hope for a little bit of peace and happiness in the material world. And it hasn't been able to fully manifest because of this crappy, rotten, materialistic civilization. And if you like this modern civilization, you're still in delusion. Like that, because it's completely rotten. People don't care about God. People are so godless. And even there's a few people that talk about God, but it's just lip service. Like it says on the US dollar, in God we trust. But Prabhupada said, what's this? It says on your money whether we trust God, but you don't act like it. You don't act like it at all. It's just, like they say, actions speak louder than words. Your words are very nice, but your actions are like rotten. You're just greedy for power and money and followers and everything. People are just so corrupt. But that's all being brought down, but it's going to be replaced by something very nice. And that is back to more self-realization, God-realization, simple living, respect for nature, living in harmony with nature, like that. There's 3 different components in the material world. There's the human beings, and there's nature, and then there's God. So there should be harmony between human beings, nature, and God. Now there's disharmony between the human beings and God, and also the human beings and nature. And now we're getting thrashed, left, right, and center because of not towing the line like that. No respect for God's laws and no respect for nature. And as we know, nature is controlled indirectly by God, but directly by the demigods. So the demigods giving us a real thrashing because, we don't give a stuff about the laws of nature. And anyone that thinks they don't have to follow the laws of nature is completely deluded, because they're so much more powerful than us. I mean, I just looked at our stream today turn into a river. I mean, it's just so powerful. We could hear big rocks, like, rolling down like marbles. I can hear them now. Just like we roll a marble across the ground, these big rocks weigh like a ton, and rolling down like marbles, bashing into each other. It's so powerful. And just ripping things out of the ground, ripping trees out of the ground and everything like that. It smashed all the roads coming into our area, Northland. All the roads are completely smashed. Just so powerful. And if we think we can control that, good luck, mate. Like that. So, but yeah, we're going to be brought back either voluntarily or forcibly back to our senses, that we're a servant. We're a servant of God, and also as, a servant of nature, like that. So Krishna consciousness is a system for those that voluntarily want to do it. And for those that don't want to voluntarily surrender to God and his servants, then forcibly through severe punishment like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the Varnashram system, I know you said Prabhupada said that, I think this is what he said, like it's not like the caste system where you cannot, like if you're born a Brahmana, it doesn't mean you are a Brahmana type thing. But
Yeah.
when in Treta Yuga, when this Ram Raja was going on, did that mean that people had to stay in their varnas, or were people able to move? Like if you were born a Sudra, then does that mean you would stay there, or does that make sense?
You could stay and you could move up. You know, like I was before I came to Krishna consciousness, I was not even up to the level of Sudra. You know, it's called Malicha.
You
know,
are off the
Malicha, meat
charts.
eater. What's that?
You are off the charts.
Yeah, I was off the charts in a bad way, not above the charts, but below the charts. So called Malicha and Yavana, very unclean and dirty meat eater. So, but then Prabhupada uplifted us to, you know, to become Brahmanas. And even if we, you know, become devotees of Krishna, then it's even more than Brahmana, because, you know, Vaishnava means above even Brahmana. You know, the highest stage in the Varnashram system is a Brahmana. Well, I mean, sannyasi is the highest, but in terms of Varnas, Brahmana is the highest. In terms of ashramas, sannyasi is the highest. And a Vaishnava is above a Brahmana, above a sannyasi, more than everything. So Prabhupada is, you know, elevating lower than Sudras to above even sannyasis and Brahmanas, like that. And a Vaishnava can act in any division. Well, I've done everything here. I mean, I've acted as a Sudra, you know, and doing, you know, laboring stuff. I've acted as a Vaishya, producing stuff and working with cows and that. And I've acted as a Kshatriya. I had to beat one guy with a bamboo stick.
Oh.
And I've acted as a Brahmana. That's what I'm doing now. So now I'm acting as a Brahmana, but like that, you know. And you know, I was, for 10 days before this, I was acting as a cook, like that. So, you know, and working for, you know, I was working, they paid me to do that. So in that sense, I was a Sudra for 10 days because I was working under their. But if they had told me to cook meat, I would have said, get stuffed. So there was still, you know, some limitations. But yeah, sort of. So you can, a Vaishnava can act in any capacity to serve Krishna. And I did that to try to raise some, because, you know, Krishna wants us to spread Krishna consciousness. And a very good way to spread Krishna consciousness is by distributing prasadam. So we did that as a service to Krishna, distributing prasadam. Oh, the people in so much ecstasy, I can't explain in words how much ecstasy they were in to get prasadam. It was incredible. Because they were eating 3 times a day prasadam for like 10 days. So they were completely in ecstasy. And then also, apart from that, it was raising funds for this place. We want to set up more cabins so we can have retreats and do things here. So yeah, whatever way we need to get money to raise funds for Christian service, you know, we could do that. Some of the original, most of the original disciples of Prabhupada were hippies and they had no jobs. So ISKCON in the very beginning had very little income. Any person that came to Prabhupada became his disciple that had a job. Prabhupada said, keep your job. We need the money to pay the rent. We need the money to pay the rent for the temple. You know, so the Jayananda, famous Jayananda, he was a taxi driver. So he gave all of his wages to the temple, like that. Like that. The first printing of Nectar of Devotion, which is such an important book. Prabhupada said 4 books are essential for devotees to read to maintain their own Krishna consciousness and give you enough knowledge to be able to preach to anybody. So the 4 most important books are Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, and either the Chaitanya Charitamrita or the summary of it, which is called the Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is one smaller book, and then the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Nectar of Devotion, Jayananda, I think he gave about 10 grand, which was a hell of a lot of money 50 years ago. He gave about 10 grand to pay for the first printing of that Nectar of Devotion. So that's very valuable service. One, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, I think he had a job, so probably keep your job. You know, whoever had a job, Sats Farooq was a secretary or something, keep your job, like that. But they would, as we've mentioned, real sannyasi doesn't mean, it's in the beginning of the 18th chapter, and I think also the 3rd chapter, It doesn't mean stop working. And, New Age spiritual people, completely deluded. They have an idea that you become spiritual when you give up your work and do nothing. But Krishna said the opposite to that. Arjuna actually wanted to do that. He wanted to leave his work and do nothing, go to the forest and be more peaceful and non-violent. And Krishna called him a nonsense, and told him to keep working. But you have to, the real sannyasi means to do your work, but give the results to Krishna. That's the real meaning of sannyas. Not that you stop working. You keep working, but you give the results. So that's the key, is to give the results. And because if you give the results of your work, because there's karma in that, either good karma, bad karma, it has to be one or the other. So there's some reactions in that work that you do. But if you do it for Krishna, you're not going to get any reaction. You're not going to get any reaction. And we can look at that in the 4th chapter, around 2021, 4th chapter, about how it's possible that you can work but not get a reaction, which is very unusual, because usually in the material world, every action has a reaction, right? What goes around comes around. As you sow, shall you reap. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So yeah, 4th chapter, text 20, and then 21 and 20, yeah, and 22. So there's 3 verses. You want to read them?
Lushan?
I haven't got my glasses. I lost it.
Okay.
So
Oh, you lost your glasses.
I'm waiting for you. You always read.
yeah, I know. I can read that.
He's giving you ladies a chance. Yeah.
Abandoning all attachments to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Yeah, so he's doing activities. Otherwise, why would it say abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities? So obviously doing activities, but that's the secret, is you got to give up the attachment to the results. So most people, they're doing activities and they're attached to results. The devotee is doing activities, but he's not attached to the results. So what is he doing with the results? He's giving them to Krishna. So therefore it says he performs no fruitive action. So normally everyone does an action because they want the fruit. Why do you plant the tree? Because you want to eat the fruit. The devotee plants the tree and he gives the fruit to Krishna. You see the difference? So normally it's we're motivated to act because we want the result. The devotee is motivated to act to please Krishna by giving the result to Krishna. Like that. Okay, next one.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions.
That's another important point. How much work are you going to do? Okay, you have to work, but how much? Just enough to survive. Shariram kevalam karma. Just enough to keep your body and soul together. See, it says here, the bare necessities. Just working. Not, working 8 hours a day, then I work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, and not 5 days a week, then 6 days a week, 7 days a week, around the clock, wanting more and more and just greedy. There's unlimited. Not like that. That's sinful. But just working enough, because that's the law of the material world. Everyone has to work for his maintenance. Although the Lord has arranged, your necessities. Krishna has an arrangement for every living entity. How much food you're going to get, your shelter, your companion, whatever, food, clothing, everything is arranged. Prabhupada said, like a grain of sugar, he's arranged that for billions and billions of ants are going to get a grain of sugar, and 1 cubic meter of food for each elephant. And there's thousands of those elephants in Africa, and Krishna's arranged a cubic meter a day for all of them, but they all have to work. The ants are running around. I just looked at a wall a little while ago and I see a whole line of ants running up the wall, looking for food. And, the elephants going around and ripping branches off and stuff like that. And so every creature has to work, but at the same time, Krishna's provided for them whatever they need, but you have to work to get it. So what you're destined to get, you're going to get it, but you still have to work to get it. It's not, you can't lie back on the couch. Oh, I wonder when Krishna's going to throw the food in my mouth. It doesn't work like that. Krishna will give it to you, but you have to get off the couch and do something for it.
One thing that Krishna says that I don't have to work because I'm the creator of all three lokas, but still I'm working, driving your chariot.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah. And he's doing that to show us by his example that we should work.
Yes.
You know.
He don't need to, but he's still showing us.
And so why is he doing it? As a matter of duty. So that's why a Krishna conscious person also doesn't need to work, but he does it as a matter of duty to set a good example for others. So that word duty comes up many times in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and then 22. And so that verse is saying 21. So thus working, he's not affected by sinful actions. So although he's working, but he's not getting any sinful reactions. So this is the secret of work. This is the art of work. Or as who was it stole that not stole it, but used that term, the art of living. So there's one organization called the Art of Living. Ravi Shankar, I think, is the leader. Yeah. So he took the art of, so that's he probably has a different idea of what the art of living is, but that's the real art of living. Is to do your work, but give the results to Krishna, and then you're not affected by sinful reactions. And it's only because of sinful reactions that you have to come back. If you don't have sinful reactions, it means you're out of here, mate. When this body dies, drops down, you're not coming back. You're coming back because of this sinful reactions. But if you dedicate all of your activities for Krishna's satisfaction, you no more sinful reactions, no more coming back.
My guru was one time talking to people who had come.
Speak louder. Can you hear Jayanti?
The guru was talking to people. No.
Quick darshan, quickly. Quick darshan.
My guru
you're all blessed now. You're all blessed.
Yes. My guru was talking to a group of people who had been invited, and they were all from Art of Living. Oh, yeah. And he said, "Okay, so today we'll talk about the art of dying." And this is Anang Manjari and Ambarish, and they were cringing. They were like, "Oh, what are these people going to think?" Like, yeah. But that was true, right? I mean,
turn it around, yeah.
Yeah, ultimately it's about the art of dying.
Yeah, and that is the art of living, that when your body dies, you don't come back. That's the art of living. How to make arrangements now while you're living, that when the body dies, you don't have to come back. That's the real art of living. Yeah. Not that you're creating a bigger pile of karma for you to have more and more births, again and again. And I tell you what, there's a lot of people on this earth creating massive piles of karma to come back again like that by creating all this hatred and envy and jealousy and greed, and it's just ridiculous. There's so much tamas. Anyway, Krishna's using them as puppets to bring about the golden age predicted, Lord Chaitanya. So they're instruments to collapse everything, to ruin everything, so that we can start again right in the proper way. Like that, start again the proper way. So we thank Trump and Netanyahu for wrecking everything, so that we can really take off with the Harinam Sankirtan movement, distribute tons of prasadam and do lots of Harinam, and people will say, "Please give me prasadam, please show me how to chant the holy name. I'm dying."
Everything
like
that's happening.
It's gone.
Huh?
The footbridge is not there.
Really?
Yeah. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our own personal bridge just got washed away.
Oh no! So you're cut off. I can't come.
No, our bridge on the property. We had a builder make a bridge to get from one side to the other, and it's been perfectly fine for 5 years. And Jayanti went to have a look, and it doesn't exist anymore. It's out in the ocean now. It's out in Kaitaya.
And even that hydroelectric pipe you said is gone.
Yeah.
We've had a bit of a
damage this time. Yeah. Krishna's making us call out, Krishna, save us, Krishna, save us. Yeah. You'll see so many times in Krishna's pastimes where there's calamities in Vrindavan. And the result of all those calamities is the devotees call out to Krishna even more. Krishna, save us, Krishna. There was 2 forest fires mentioned And the devotee, they were surrounded by fire and they were just about to die, being burnt. And then they called out, Krishna, save us. And then Krishna inhaled the fire like that. So these calamities are there for a reason, to make us, go more and more to Krishna like that. And that's the thing. We read about not being attached to the results. So yeah, I better not be attached to the bridge. There's no point being attached to temporary things, right? Because it's only going to cause you suffering. Because one day it's going to go. And then what are you going to do? You're going to cry over some temporary material thing. It's not worth it. So everything in the material world is temporary. Don't become attached to anything in this world, because everything is temporary. Everything. Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya said to his second wife, when he took sannyas at the age of 24 years old, and he was newly married and everything, had beautiful wife and, wonderful mother, everything like that. And then he said, see you later, I'm taking sannyas. And she said, Vishnupriya said, how can you leave me? I'm all alone. How can you leave me? And he said, in this material world, everything is an illusion except for two things: the holy name and association of devotees. Apart from that, everything in this world is an illusion. And then he said, as long as you do those two things, chant the holy name and associate and serve the devotees, then I will always be present. I will always be present. So, and then he took sannyas, and then she took that very seriously.
But make
like,
sure
for example,
you're not taking the sannyas, saying the Jayanti to goodbye. I'm taking sannyas.
It depends what's necessary. He did that to help spread Krishna consciousness. Actually, Jayanti is helping me so much spread Krishna consciousness. Actually, we wouldn't even have this property if it wasn't for Jayanti, because I had no money. So she's thrown all her money into this, which is a great surrender. She's sacrificed all of her hard-earned money to get this property, which we use it only for preaching. The only purpose of this property is to preach. And we have so many people come here and everything like that. And she set up a website to help us, beautiful website, to spread this knowledge and everything like that. So she's really supporting my service to Prabhupada so much. I couldn't have done even half of what I'm doing without her. And so that's the way
it's Krishna arranged Jayanti for you.
Exactly. So why I'm going to, throw that away, what Krishna's giving, So yeah, different scenarios. Lord Chaitanya had, at that time, 500 years ago, he had different things to do. Actually, when he was a grihasta, the public were not respecting him. He was chanting the names of the gopis. And then some of his own students, when he was a great teacher, Nimai Pandit, he was known as Nimai Pandit before his sannyasi. So he was a great Pandit, great scholar, and he had many students. And when he manifested his Krishna consciousness, he was ecstatically calling out to the gopis and the names of different gopis. And some of his students criticized him. Why are you calling gopi gopi? You should be saying Hare Krishna. And then he chased one of the students with a stick to beat him. He was so upset. And then he realized that Lord Chaitanya was thinking, I have come here to deliver all the fallen souls of Kali Yuga, but now I see the opposite is going to happen, that people are criticizing me. Because if you criticize God, you're going to go to hell for a long time. So his mission was to deliver everyone, but now the result was that it seemed like they're all going to go to hell because they started criticizing Nimai Pandit. So then he realized, I know what I should do. I should take sannyas, because everybody in Vedic culture bows their head down and respects a sannyasi, whatever they believe in or don't believe in. But as soon as they see a sannyasi, they bow down. So that's offering respect. And if you bow down to Lord Chaitanya, you're going to go back home, back to Godhead. So that was his plan he used to try to bring in all these persons that, were, difficult cases like that.
But you can't say that to be true anymore. I think sannyasis are not that well.
Yeah, I know. So now people don't even know what, if I said the word sannyasi, most people don't even know what a sannyasi is like that. So now that's not so relevant, now it can be more beneficial like that. If you're a grihastha or something, you might be able to do more service like that.
Yes, some of
Not
the
always,
sannyasis
but
in the
it's a
jail
case by
in
case.
India.
What's that?
Some of the sannyasis in the jail in India.
Some of the sannyasis are in jail in India.
Oh, in jail. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's not recommended in Kali Yuga to be a sannyasi, because it's very hard in Kali Yuga to be a sannyasi. The mind's out of control, and so many material desires and so many things. So yeah, it's very difficult. Very difficult. But yeah, whatever works, whatever works. An astrologer said about me that it's better for you to always have a wife.
No.
So it depends on your nature. It depends on, people function better because we're all, different, so whatever works. And for a Vaishnava, it doesn't matter. Grihe tako vane tako sada hari bolo tako. So that beautiful bhajan is saying that grihe tako, whether you're a grihasta, family householder, or vane tako, whether you've gone to the forest like a vanaprastha sannyasi, gone to the forest and living without family, sada hari bolo dako, just chant Hare Krishna. So that's the recommendation for Kali Yuga. Whether you're a family person or whether you're a single person, everyone just always chant the holy name. Sada means always, Hari bolo, chant God's names. Always chants God's names. Whether you're in family life or whether you're a celibate, whatever, always chant God's names. So that's the recommendation for Kali Yuga for us in Kali Yuga.
Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has got any children?
No. And he arranged it on purpose because, and that goes back to Bhakti Mala's question about the Varnashram system. Is it by birth, or that's actually because of your qualities, the qualities of the person that determine what Varna you're in, not your birth. But, you can imagine someone saying, I'm a descendant of Lord Chaitanya, and his family. Then they get proud. We see that even Krishna's family 5,000 years ago, he had so many children, and some of them became proud. That's why Krishna arranged to take out his whole Yadu dynasty when he left. When Krishna left, the Yadu dynasty, they all fought each other. They fought each other and killed each other. They got intoxicated by drinking rice wine, and they all killed each other. And Krishna arranged that to withdraw them, because he knew that they become proud. Oh, who's your father? Oh, Krishna's my father. Krishna's my great-grandfather. Like that. I'm a descendant of Krishna. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. You all have to worship me and do what I say. So become proud. So Lord Chaitanya arranged that he doesn't have any family, left after he left, like that, But Lord Nityananda did. He had 2 wives and some children, Virabhadra and so forth. And some people today, they'll say, I'm a descendant of Lord Nityananda, and they're proud. So that's unfortunate. So, but their behavior might be very bad. So which is important, that you're a descendant of Lord Nityananda or that you have good behavior? That's the good behavior that's important.
And I think in Kali Yuga, if you're more disturbed being a brahmachari, then you're better off being a grihastha, and for your mind to be less disturbed. Like, you need to have a partner, and then you can do all your service to Krishna, and you're not disturbed by all the thoughts of the opposite sex and stuff like that. But if you can be undisturbed as a brahmachari, then you should stay like that. But what do you think? Like, I think
there's different angles.
Yeah,
I mean that is the plan. That is the plan. Why you should situate yourself.
And a lot of people seem to be taking the vows, but they're very disturbed in their mind,
Yeah. And then that's expected in Kali Yuga. That's one of the main qualities of Kali Yuga that people's minds are always disturbed. Praina alpa yusasabhya, kalo yusman yugajana, manda sumanda mateo, manda bhagyahu paduda. In Kali Yuga, then people have short lives, they're unlucky, quarrelsome, you really see that. Misguided, you really see that. And above all, their minds are always disturbed. So that's the characteristic. So that's expected in Kali Yuga. Now, I mean, you try to set yourself up in proper Varna and ashram so that your mind won't be disturbed. But however, because it's Kali Yuga, there's no guarantee that's going to work. That you think you're single and you think my mind's going to be more peaceful when I get married, and then even if you do get married, but then you're still disturbed because you got a silly wife or whatever, a silly husband, and then they drive you crazy, and then the silly kids come along and they make you, really deep as, shaking your head, grabbing your head. I'm not saying that any particular kids. I know Deepa's got angels for kids. But just generally, often it can be, create very problematic, like that. And one of our neighbors is an alcoholic, and he got married at a certain point, and his son came in our driveway with a stick about a meter long the other day, a big fat stick, and he's just babbling all this stuff. I can hardly understand what the hell he's on about. 1 minute he'll go to one side of the universe in his conversation, and then the next second he's talking about something completely opposite. It means it doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And, I knew he's just all scrambled in his brains. And, so he's more crazy than his dad, and he's probably making his dad more crazy, having a son that's crazy like that. So, we might think we're going to get married to have a peaceful, happy life and live happily ever after. But, usually it doesn't work out like that in the material world. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you can try to create a peaceful situation, but don't think that any situation in the material world is going to make you peaceful and happy other than Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the only thing that's going to make us peaceful and happy. Not if I get married, I'll be peaceful and happy, or not the married person's thinking, if I can become single again, I'll be peaceful and happy. But nothing is going to make you peaceful and happy unless you become Krishna conscious. That's the thing,
It's
so that is the real thing to make us peaceful and happy is Krishna consciousness. And
it's
I mean,
design. It's all by Krishna's design.
Yeah, to force us to be Krishna conscious. Because we're so dumb. We're thinking, oh, if I get married, I'll be happy. And if I become single, I'll be happy. And if I become rich, I'll be happy. And if I become healthy, I'll be happy. If I become CEO, I'll be happy. Actually, none of these things make anyone happy. But that's Maya that we're thinking that. But the only thing that makes us happy is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna will take away your position as CEO. Krishna will take away your family, take away your money and everything. And finally, all that you've got left is Krishna. And then we become, he took away our bridge, took away our road. And all that, there's only one thing left. All we have is Krishna. There's nothing left, so.
Your bridge.
Yeah.
Soon you'll be sitting on the roof and you're taking the class from the roof. Because my house is full of the water, I'm sitting on the roof.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
As long as internet working, we'll have a class.
Yeah.
But I have to put it near their. Should I put it near their house, or shall I just put it near the cabin?
Put it under the roof in the house. Open the door and leave it open.
Yeah. Or just leave it open and put it there.
Yeah. She's just going to go and feed the chickens. Otherwise, they'll be suffering.
Yeah, already when I
completely saturated.
What do you do with the eggs?
I have a very bad attachment in this life, and it's a dog.
Oh,
I'm very attached to my dog. It's Simha.
Yeah, they're attached to Krishna.
I know we're not supposed to get attached, but he's like my little child.
I know. Yeah.
But we've heard stories how accidentally, unknowingly, you just keep saying names of God. So if you keep saying Simha, 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 that's it. You are liberated. You're gone. Finish. Huh?
But she's saying Simha dog, not Simha.
No. But it does.
But Simha on its own doesn't mean.
Yeah, Simha on its own means lion. That's nothing to. I mean, if you remembered Narasimha, if you were calling out Simha, oh Narasimha, then you remember him, then that's okay. Like that. So anyway, let's see. You don't want to be like Bharat Maharaj, remembering the deer when he died. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come back as a deer,
Yeah. Okay, let's read the verse for today. It's all very
the respect.
Yep, so we're on Gulshan's favorite verse today. Yeah, but we'll offer respect.
And I don't
proper.
have it. Yeah.
10.
Om Jnanatimrandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Malatam Yaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with a shining torchlight of transcendent knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance to his lotus feet. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
This is my favorite verse, and I don't have glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have to remember.
You can hear it. You can hear it. We can cite the Sanskrit first.
I can read that, or can take it far away from my eyes.
Okay, but the main thing is to hear it. The main thing is to just hear.
Shravana.
Esam sadata yuktanam.
Esam sadata yuktanam.
Bhajatam priti purvakam.
Bhajatam priti purvakam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Yena mam upayantite.
Yena mam upayantite.
To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give understanding by which they can come to me. I remember this verse. I can't see correctly, but I remember that. That's what we did.
Good. Yeah. So in the previous verse, last time, a few weeks ago, we spoke in text 9. It talks about what a devotee does. What are the activities of a devotee? Okay, if people ask, well, okay, what does a devotee do? So that's mentioned in the 9th verse. What does a devotee do? Always thinking about Krishna, he says here. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. So that's how you distinguish what is a devotee, who is a devotee. A devotee is a person who's always thinking about Krishna. In modern day society, often what are we thinking about? Thinking about money, thinking about the opposite sex, thinking about power, thinking about how we hate people or something like that. If we're a Christian, we hate Muslims. If we're a Muslim, we hate Christians, and so forth, like that. Now, heaps of people hate Jews, so forth, and the Jews hate everyone else or whatever. But this is not a devotee. A devotee is always thinking about Krishna. Always thinking about Krishna. And their life is dedicated, devoted to serving Krishna. Dedicated, devoted to serving Krishna. Just like Hanuman, talking about, because Ram Navami is coming up. Ram wanted to find his wife. Sita had been kidnapped. So that was what the Lord desired, what the Lord wanted. So Hanuman dedicated himself to find Sita. That was his mission, to try to serve Lord Ram by finding his wife. And then later on, Lakshman was grievously, not that he was, but he was acting like he was wounded by Indrajit, who was one of Ravana's brothers, I think, or sons. I think one of Ravana's sons, Indrajit, had thrown a weapon, a Shakti weapon or something, and Lakshman looked like he was mortally wounded. So Ram asked him to get the Sanjeevani herb from some mountain, and he went there. He went there, and he couldn't find. He's just a simple monkey. He didn't know what herb is what. So he just grabbed the whole mountain and flew with it back. So he's completely dedicated to serving Lord Ram. Find my wife, go and get this herb, whatever the Lord wants. He's completely dedicate himself. So that's the life of a devotee, dedicated.
You know the herb he was looking of, Sanjeevani. What was that? Do you know what was that? That was the one, when that there was the one, that the Shabri offered that the things that to eating, that to give it to Lord Rama. She was tasting and gave it to Lord Rama. And then Lakshma, she gave Lakshma as well, and he was throwing. He doesn't want to eat that because she already tasted and give it that, make sure it's sweet, it's not sour.
Okay.
And those are the one he throwing at the back of it. And those were the ones, Sanjeevani, the one he throw that, Logs Rama say, you have to eat that. This is from my devotee. You have to
I hadn't
eat
heard that before. That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
that
nice.
was the reason for
Thanks,
that. Because he was not eating because he hesitated to eat that, and he was throwing in the back, but act like he's eating. The Lord Rama make them to eat that after that.
Yeah.
So whatever you say, I don't want to do it.
How karma is so powerful.
Yeah,
your
100%.
actions are going to come to you later on like that.
Yes, 100%.
And then another part of a devotee's life is preaching. It means always talking to people about Krishna. And this talking to others about Krishna or preaching is where the satisfaction and bliss comes. Everyone's looking for satisfaction and bliss, but the real way to get it is by talking about Krishna. And that's the life of a devotee, like Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada's whole life, after he went to the West, was always talking about Krishna. And even in the form of his books, right? Because in the daytime, he'd talk to people about Krishna. And the nighttime, they're called a dictaphone. You know what a dictaphone is? So he's talking into the machine, and that's recording his voice. So he's talking about Krishna. Even in the nighttime, he was talking about Krishna. And the daytime, he's talking to people about Krishna, to religious people, to scientists, to atheists, to students, to all different kind of people, just always talking about Krishna. And he was in ecstasy doing that. Sometimes he would even be sick, but he would still be talking about Krishna. And then he mentioned, when I talk about Krishna, this is giving me life. And he got free from the symptoms of his disease. And I've noticed that even when I talk about Krishna, like these kind of times, I forget about my backache and all my bodily ailments and so many things. And you just lift it above all these things. It brings so much ecstasy and bliss, to be talking about Krishna. So that's the life of a devotee. So in this verse is saying, so serving Krishna in this verse, and then this verse 10:10 gives you the two criteria of that service. The two criteria of the service, what are they?
Constantly devoted to serving me with love.
Yeah, so the two criteria is it has to be constant of service. So the two criteria of the service, it should be constantly done. Not one day of the week, not like a Christian, go to the church for 2 hours on a Sunday and you behave in one way and then behave in a different way the other 6.5 days like that. So all the time means every day. In the beginning, it's not going to be all the time, meaning 24 hours. If it was in the beginning, the expectation was that your service has to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, then we'd give up, isn't it? We'd lose hope. There's no way I can, chant for 24 hours or whatever. So in the beginning, that for us constantly means every day. So every day you want to be serving Krishna, you chant for a couple hours and then you read Prabhupada's books for an hour and then you hear some lecture, then you cook for Krishna and then you go out and distribute books and you go on Harinam and you do make some money for Krishna, whatever, plant some vegetables, flowers for Krishna and like that, go and distribute prasadam. So every day you do some service for Krishna, but later on that constantly will also be 24 hours. Also be 24 hours like that. And then people say, well, but what about when you're sleeping? But even a pure devotee sleeping is also Krishna conscious. And many brahmacharis would know that because, you sleep in the room with other brahmacharis, that even you wake up in the middle of the night to go for a pee or something, and the brahmachari sleeping next to you is going in his sleep. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And even the dreams, even like Gulshan, right? Gulshan's often having dreams about you know, Krishna or Prabhupada or something like that. Prabhupada did this and that, you know, so now he's remembering one now he's going to share with us.
I dream about that. You know what? I was making the halwa and the bhakti tree, and Radhanath Maharaj came. And then he came, he said that, oh, is there enough halwa? I said, oh, may not be enough there. A lot of people there. He said, enough sugar there? I said, oh, then I'm running to Raj's to get there a more atta, and then more that sugar for that make sure, and running, and then I just wake up. I said, oh, where I am in my van.
So that's very nice. So yeah, gradually it gets more and more time that our consciousness gets absorbed in Krishna as we go forward more and more. And that's natural. Whatever you do in the daytime, that will come out in your dreams at night. Yeah, that's natural. So for materialists, their whole day, materialists' whole day is absorbed in money and women and so forth. So that's what's in their dreams. It's just money and women and so forth, like that. But opposite for a devotee is always serving Krishna in the day, so that comes out at night, and like that. So slowly, it becomes more and more absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But in the beginning, constantly means every day. And as we progress, constantly means 24 hours becomes constantly. And then with love, so that's the quality, you know. In the beginning, it's not going to be maybe so much love. It's going to be more mechanical. Oh, my guru told me I have to chant 16 rounds, and my guru told me to get up early in the morning, and my guru told me to follow the 4 regular principles. So you're just doing it out of duty. But in the advanced stages, then you're doing it out of spontaneous love. So there's two kinds of bhakti. In the beginning, it's called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And this is all mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion. So in the beginning, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So Vaidhi means Vidhi. Vidhi means rules. So you're following rules. Sadhana means you're practicing. And Bhakti means devotional service. So you're practicing to do devotional service, following different rules and regulations under the guidance of the Guru. And then as you progress from there, that Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti can turn into Raga Nuga Bhakti. So Raga Nuga means, with Rag, means attachment. We talked about being attached to the results, right, of our work. So the devotee, pure devotee, is also attached, but not to the results of his work. He's attached to Krishna. He's attached to serving Krishna. So that's called spontaneous bhakti. So then in the advanced stage, you don't even have to, wait for the alarm clock to go off and then you go to Mangalarti, but you automatically wake up. And if someone tried to stop you going to Mangalarti, good luck, because you're going to find a way to get there. You can't stop the person getting there. Like that, they're just so attached to seeing Krishna and to chanting and so forth. And then it won't stop at 16 rounds once you get to Raganuga. It'll be 20 rounds, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 4, 80. Haridas Thakur, 192 rounds a day. That's nearly 24 hours, you know. And if you're doing your chanting and you don't have time to sleep and eat, tough luck, who cares? You know, they're completely transcended the body. At that point, completely transcendental. How do you know you're a conditioned soul? Well, you need to eat and sleep and so forth. But a fully transcendental being doesn't even need to eat and sleep and so forth like that. They are beyond all these things. You know, so this is the gradual process of bhakti. It doesn't necessarily happen in 2 seconds. It can, but generally it takes time, because we may not be like this, fully sincere, fully constantly devoted to serving with love. If you could come to this criteria, constantly serving Krishna with love, then you could achieve Krishna Prema in 1 minute, like that. And Prabhupada actually mentions this. It's very fascinating. In the last purport, I think it is in the 2nd chapter. So let's go to that. Go to the end of the 2nd chapter. It's about 72. Yeah, the beginning of the purport of 72. Just the first 2 sentences. One of the ladies speaking.
consciousness or divine life at once within a second, or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It's only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact.
So yeah, you can achieve Krishna consciousness in a moment, or not in millions of lifetimes. It depends on understanding, accepting the fact. So what's the fact? What's the fact that we need to understand?
Love.
And understanding is one thing, you know, like I understand that I am a eternal spirit soul, and that the spirit soul is a servant of Krishna. I understand that, but have you accepted it? Have you accepted it? There's still often some resistance. I still want to enjoy my body, you know. It still feels like I'm the body, and I want to sense gratification is kind of nice and everything like that, you know. So we haven't really fully accepted it. But when you understand it is one thing, but then have you accepted it? And when you finally accepted it, yes, I am the pure spirit soul servant of Krishna. I have no other business. Like Krishna says in the 18th chapter, Sarva Dharman Prachaja, I have no other duty. I have no other occupation. My only occupation, my only duty is just to please Krishna and please my spiritual master. That's all I want to do in my life, is please my spiritual master and please Krishna. Nothing else. Then when the penny drops, you become fully Krishna conscious. You know, Krishna gives his full mercy to you. And, you know, all your hairs are standing on end, your tears come out of your eyes sideways, and you fall on the ground unconscious, and then you're, you know, never the same, you know. So, and that depends on us. You know, Krishna is not going to make that happen. That's something called free choice. That's something we all have in a human form of life. The soul has free choice, whether you want to understand that and whether you want to accept that, you know. Most people don't even want to understand it. And even if you do want to understand it, you know, when, you know, it takes time to digest that and accept that fact. So what is the fact? That we're all eternal souls, and all the souls are part and parcel of Krishna and are meant. The only purpose of the soul, why Krishna created us, why he expanded himself into all these tiny souls, is to give loving service to him. That's our only purpose, our only function. We have no other purpose other than to give pleasure to Krishna. Just as this finger has no other purpose than to serve the body, because it's part of the body, part of the body. And if I cut this finger off, then it has no purpose.
No, I can't put my ear if I cut the finger, because that's the part.
But yeah, as soon as this finger is separated from the body, it has absolutely no value, isn't it? And I told you this before. I was with a brahmachari. His end of his finger got cut off in a cupboard of the bus we traveled in, and his finger got cut off completely. And I was with him in the ambulance. And he said, he was very Krishna conscious. He said, I deserve to have my whole arm cut off, but Krishna very kindly just took the tip off my finger. And then when we reached the hospital, they couldn't put it back on again. So do you know what was done with that tip of a finger? Chucked it in the bin. There's no value. But if you can attach that finger to the body, how much is it worth? $100? 1,000? Million? It's priceless, isn't it? This finger is priceless when it's attached to the body. If it's separated from the body, it's not worth 10 paisa. 10 paisa is like nothing. 5 cents. It's not worth anything. You know, so it's like that. Our only purpose is part and parcel of Krishna, as the finger is part and parcel of the body, is to give service. Like this, like, you know, Deepa was yawning and her hand was covering her mouth. So this is that the hand is serving the body. You know, I'm just scratching my head, I'm putting food in the mouth, I'm, you know, rubbing my eye like that, I'm picking up the Bhagavad Gita. The body says, pick up the Bhagavad Gita, so the hand picks it up, isn't it? So the hand is carrying out the order of the body. The body says, pick up the Bhagavad Gita and read the verse. Come on, read 10:10. You know, and the hand cooperates, and the eyes cooperate, and the voice cooperates. So the purpose of all the parts is to cooperate with the whole. You know, so that's also when we accept that fact, I'm Krishna's servant. My purpose is to cooperate with Krishna and do what he says. But no, I don't want to do what Krishna says. This is the problem, you know, we're like rebels. I don't want to put food in the mouth. No, I'm going to just squeeze the samosa. It's not going to work, mate. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And that's what we're doing. We're like trying to squeeze the Gianty made yummy cauliflower pakoras today. And if the hand had rebelled, said, I'm not going to put it in the mouth, I'm just going to squeeze the pakora. It's not going to work. It's like you have to give it to the body. You have to give it to the body, and then the body will enjoy it first, and then that enjoyment will then be transferred into the hand and all the other parts like that. So we're the secondary enjoyers, not the first enjoyer. We can enjoy, yes, but only if we give the enjoyment to Krishna first. That's the thing, you know. So when I did the prasadam distribution, I spent time with all the volunteers that were helping me to help them understand this point. You know, this is a Hare Krishna kitchen. This is not an ordinary kitchen. I said the main ingredient we want to achieve in this kitchen is love. You know, I asked them, what's the main ingredient in cooking? And most of them got the answer. That's love. And I said, you know how to achieve that love? And I said, you have to forget yourself. I have to forget yourself. I said in a Hare Krishna kitchen, there's no eating, no drinking. If you want to eat or drink, you have to go outside. But we're focusing on just doing it to please Krishna, to please God, like that. And you have to forget yourself like that. And I said, after Krishna enjoys it, then we will enjoy it. And boy, were they enjoying it. You know, they were enjoying so much. They've never enjoyed eating in those 2 weeks, near 1.5 weeks. They've never enjoyed eating so much in those days. And why they enjoyed so much? Because they let Krishna enjoy it first. And then they enjoyed it second, and they enjoyed more. Actually, you enjoy much more if you give it to Krishna first. If you try to get it first, you're not going to enjoy it. It's not possible. Like I said, the hand, you can squeeze as much as you like that pakora. You're never going to enjoy nothing out of that. You give it to Krishna, like you give it to the stomach, you give that pakora to the stomach, and then the hand's going to enjoy like that. So that's what we've got to understand and accept like that. And it takes time because we're conditioned to trying to squeeze that pakora for thousands of lifetimes, you know, millions of lifetimes. We've been trying to just enjoy separately. So yeah, it takes a while to get it to our thick head, you know, like that. It takes time. So we've got to be patient. And that's why it's mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction. You know, the very important principles favorable to devotional service. 6 things: enthusiasm, confidence, and patience. You have to be patient. You know, we're confident that we can achieve Krishna consciousness, go back to Godhead, but take some time, man. You know, give it some time. It's not going to happen straight away, you know. And you have to be enthusiastic, you know, like that. And you have to be enthusiastic. If you're not enthusiastic, it's not going to go very far. And then, you know, you have to be confident. Not confident in ourselves, because, you know, we're just useless Kali Yuga people. We're rotten rascals and everything. But confident in Krishna, our spiritual master, is so kind. In the shortest lecture Prabhupada ever spoke was in Atlanta, USA, because they got deities in that temple of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Prabhupada just started talking about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. He lasted about 4 minutes. He just started saying Lord Chaitanya is so kind, so kind. And then he just broke down in ecstasy, tears shooting out of his eyes, and his voice just stopped talking, and he went into a kind of a trance-like state. And the devotees were like, oh. So Prabhupada just, you know, went away, you know. He was just in ecstasy, just because that's why we're confident, not in our own abilities or anything. We're just hopeless cases, basket cases. But Lord Chaitanya is so kind to come to deliver us. And Prabhupada and his followers are so kind, so merciful. And they excuse all of our faults and just take what little good we do, you know, and magnify what little good we do and excuse all of our faults like that. And when Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, who punishes all the sinners, which is 99%, when he punishes all the sinners, when he saw Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda deliver the worst people, Jagai and Madai, that did every crime under the sun, except for offending Vaishnavas, you know, they did every crime under the sun. They killed Brahmanas and killed cows. I mean, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, like that. So, and they were drunkards and everything like that. But when he saw Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda deliver them, he went into ecstasy. He fell down in his chariot in the sky and ripped off his clothes and was beating on the ground and everything. And then his right hand man, Chandragupta or Chitragupta's right hand man, who's responsible for the records of all the sinners, said, the records for Jagai and Madai can fill up a bottomless pit, a bottomless well. We could fill up a bottomless well with their records of all their sins. And he said, boss, what should we do with all their records? He said, delete it. Get rid of it. Just chuck it in the bin. It's all gone. And Lord Chaitanya just delivered them from all their sins, and gave them Krishna Prem. And not only they delivered from sins, but tears were firing out of Jagai and Madai's eyes sideways, and they were rolling on the ground in ecstasy. And other people became their disciples. They became gurus of so many. And that was just so amazing. It was just ecstatic. So this is where the confidence of a devotee comes from, like that. And there's other things too, but yeah, this is yeah, so much nectar. Anyway, let's just we've pretty much used up our time. But yeah, this is the life of a devotee, and always serving Krishna with love. So yeah, like I said, we can come to that point very quickly, or it can take a long time. It depends on us, how sincere we are, how serious we are. Do you know what is the secret? I'll just finish off. What's the secret? How do we become? We're not sincere, we're not serious, but how do we become? How do we become, very sincere in Krishna consciousness? What can help us to achieve that understanding that we're Krishna's eternal servant and accepting that? What's the most effective thing we can do to come to that point of understanding and accepting that we're Krishna's servant?
Association?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the main thing, is association with advanced devotees. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. It said, even there's a beautiful verse, trying to remember that verse. Sadhu Sangha, Sava Siddhi Hoy, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sangha, Sava Shastra, no, Sadhu Sangha, Sava Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sava Siddhi Hoy. So all the scriptures, Sava Shastra, all the scriptures say Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. If you hear something repeated 3 times, means that's very, very important. Get out of the house, get out of the house, get out of the house. It's on fire, So someone's going to just not say, oh, get out of the house. They're going to say it, a few times, It's very important. Get down, get down, get down. There's a missile falling on your head, So they're going to say it repeatedly like that. It's very important. So, association with devotees. Love for how long? How long do you need? Lava Matra means a moment, just a moment's association with an advanced devotee. What's a moment? It's an 11th of a second. It's about the blinking of an eye. Your eye blinks for a moment. It's just not even a second. It's just a part of a second. So just a moment's association with a devotee can give sarva siddhi, all perfection. What's all perfection? Going back to Godhead, and have love for God, and live with God, in the spiritual world. And you can get that from Sadhu Sangha. So, Prabhupada emphasizes that everywhere in his books, the importance of association with devotees. And he says that's why he created ISKCON. Why did he create ISKCON? So devotees can associate together. What did we read in 10:9? What does a devotee do? Conversing about me, enlightening one another. So devotees coming together and conversing and enlightening one another. So that was in 10.9. That's the life of a devotee, coming together with others. That's what soul searching. What are these soul searching sessions? Why have we kept it going for how long now? I mean, we were doing it in Australia, once a week on Saturdays, and now we're doing it twice a week. We kept that going for 6 years. Why are we bothered to do that? Because this is the essence of the process, is that devotees, we come together and we, talk about Krishna. We enlighten one another, conversing about Krishna. What are we talking about? Politics or so forth? No, we're talking about Krishna, like that. So that's the sum and substance. That is the best way that we can try to awaken that dormant love for Krishna.
My personal experience is, it's not just association with devotees, but there's the quality of devotees. I personally, I feel so much of difference. I mean, from when you were here and now, and I see it in how I am and my practice and all this. It is reflecting very much. So that's why I'm coming to get an infusion. Yeah.
No, it's very important. It's very important, definitely. The whole of ISKCON suffered. What's that?
I got misunderstood. I thought Deepa was my association.
You are not even there. That's why you're roaming
But I mean,
around.
even any association is still beneficial. It's still beneficial. Like you see a devotee means, then you see the tilak, it reminds you of Krishna. You see the neck beads. You see the shika. They're chanting Hare Krishna. They've got Japamala in their hand. Like that. They're engaging us in service. Oh, Prabhu, can you please wash the pots? They're engaging us in Krishna's service. Like that, can you please pick some flowers for us to offer Radha Gokulananda? So that, engaging us in service. So even the association of neophyte devotees is still beneficial. They're engaging us in service. But yeah, definitely most effective is if we can associate with advanced devotees that have more development. But any association is good. Even the lowest kind of association of a devotee, I mean, even the association of a lowest kind of devotee is still good. But then, if you associate with what's called the Uttam Adhikari, or the Bhagavad, is, very rare, but very wonderful. And even apart from that, the Madhyam Adhikari is the middle class devotee, is a preacher. So at the most, we would be in that category. I mean, I learned that as a brahmachari to become a preacher. So that's sort of the category we're trying to, practice in. And no Uttamadhikari Mahabhagavat is ever going to say they're Uttamadhikari Mahabhagavat. Anyone that says they're Uttamadhikari Mahabhagavat is not. That's how you tell they're not. If they say they are, they're not. Uttamadhikari Mahabhagavat is going to say, I'm the lowest. I'm lower than... Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, I am lower than a worm and stool. At least a worm and stool has a position. I don't even have that position. Krishnadas Kaviraj, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the highest book we have in Vaishnava literature, said similar things, that he said, if anyone says my name, they accumulate sinful reactions. That's humble. And he's not just saying that. They are feeling that. They're not just pretending that. Like, we'll do that, right? Oh, Prabhu, I'm the lowest devotee. But they're just saying that to attract attention. They don't really feel that. But these devotees really felt like that, really like that. So we try to imitate them, of course, by saying these kind of same humble things. But it's not going to work like that. But yeah, we should... Anyway, at least if we can associate with someone a bit higher than where we are, then you're going to be going upwards, right? Even they're not the very top of the ladder, but at least if they're one rung up more than me, that's still good, right? Because it's going to bring us up, so that's what we want to try to do. That's what we want to try to do. So yeah, that's why we've always kept this going, because that's the life of a devotee. We're talking about Krishna and everything like that. And that gives us a little taste of the spiritual world. Even for that 1 hour or 1.5 hours, it's like transported us into the spiritual world. We get absorbed in remembering Krishna and everything like that. And then gradually, the idea is we get a taste for that more and more. Why? Let's do it for 2 hours. Let's do it for 3 hours. You know, slowly, we get more and more of a taste for that. That's the idea. Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, best.
Hare Krishna.
All the best. Take care till we see you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.